Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you're so very welcome indeed. You're so very welcome indeed. Are we living and loving? This, my darling, is a K. Bennett dress, and I live and love it, but Mama's put on some weight. So what happened was this came, I bought this with a scarf. I don't know whether you can see it. I've got a monitor here. There you go. Can you see it? And so I could not button it at the bust. I'm a D cup. And so I put the scarf in between. I looped it through the hole here, and then I just put the belt, the waist belt over here, you understand me, just to kind of make it copacetic. I'm running out of outfits. I have to go to the dry cleaners, but today I was kind of sort of in a rush, and I said I have to do this episode for you guys. So if you're living for it, let me know, my darlings. So let me just position this, and then we will get to it. There's a 6-minute audio of Justin Baldoni, and I wanted to talk about this with you guys and go through it with you. Justin, who basically is responding to a message of which Blake had left. Blake, in essence, was talking about how she has 2 dragons, because remember that she's Khaleesi from the Game of Thrones. She had sent that message out to him, and he had responded and said, I really like what you've done. I love what you've done. You did not have to add. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me just read it out so that we know that we're all on the same page, okay? If you send me the FedEx, I'll work when I can steal some moments. And yes, of course, please send to Christy. We're all on the same team with the same goal. He now responds, great. Also was working on rooftop scene today. I really love what you did. It really does help a lot, makes so much more fun and interesting. I would have felt that way without Ryan and Taylor. You really are talent across the board. Really excited and grateful to do this together. He mentioned Ryan and Taylor because Justin had been invited over. Ryan had jumped out and talked about how it would be so great if we have Blake's edits in the film, the suggestions that she has made for the film. I think it would be really great. Before you could say Jack Robertson, Tyler Swift jumps out talking about, yes, I really think that what Blake has done is fantastic. I think her edits are great. I think her suggestions are great for the film. This would be fabulous. Yes, absolutely. I think that you should do that. And so Justin is sitting there and he is feeling like, oh my God, they really prepped me for this visit. This visit was not to visit Blake. This visit was for me to come here and then be bamboozled ever so lightly by Ryan and Taylor Swift. And this is the same Taylor Swift who says, I feel bamboozled. I want to keep my distance from Blake. I don't have anything to do with this. Blake, that's not true. You have a lot to do with this. You've had so much to do with this. You even had an input in casting the young Lily Bloom on the movie. We have the actress who verbatim said that, yes, she heard about that you were involved.
I hear that Taylor may have had some influence in getting
Yes, she did. Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I'm meant to be saying it, but I'm saying it. Yeah, she was a helpful part of the process of the audition, which I found out later after I got it, and that rocked my world.
She really did take this kind of big sister role. I know you play the younger version of her.
Yeah.
This is your first movie. Any words of advice that she gave you? Because I'm sure it could be a little overwhelming.
She said you just have to trust that you've got it, you know? Like, if you have your own self-assurance and you know that you're meant to be there and that, like, you have that self-worth, that is what's going to take you far. So I'm trying to do that, you know?
What was it like to be able to, like, to take a role that means so much to a lot of people?
It's just such a privilege. I mean, the complexities of Lily, the dynamics of that character. It's so exciting as an actor to be able to play a role like that isn't one note. She's so multifaceted, you know? It's a privilege. Yeah.
You did not care for the composer. You wanted the composer fired because you did not get along with him and he had been mean to you. So yes, you are very much involved, Taylor Swift. As a matter of fact, you are a deep dive for a later date because you are so much more involved than you care to admit. So anyway, that was Justin's takeaway, and that he had felt that Blake was good enough without Ryan and Taylor Swift. Okay, all right, moving along. She now responded and said, "That's very appreciated and means a lot. I'm deeply inspired by the film we're gonna make outside of the success of the book. We have such an opportunity to not only surprise people who love the book, but reach an even bigger audience by making an undeniably dynamic and also commercial film." Remember, I said it in the last episode, her career was in the tank. Ever since Gossip Girl, Blake Lively hasn't had anything to write home about up until this project, and she began to sink her teeth in it when she realized that this was going to be her big ooh-ha, aha moment. She goes on to say, "The moment that excited me most the other day was when you said, 'You are not funny. You are going to kill it.' That rooftop scene, you know it. I'm sure even though it was said in a playful self-depreciation that we all participate in, it made me think of the process as a whole. Please know, I trust that on the day you've got me, and I hope that you trust that I've got you. If you want it. We're in this together, and we are two of the most determined people I know. We also have very high bars set for ourselves. To collaborate with that type of partner is a gift that neither one of us will squander, because we both care too much about the result and also the experience. I have no motives except for a win. As a director, as an actor, as a studio, as a writer, if you win, I win. If you win, our movie wins. We are aligned, and I will bring everything I have to this." Do you see how she has given herself all of these multiple titles? Here's the thing, Blake, and I'm just saying this directly to you. You are not anything to write home about. Pretty girl, end of. That's it. When I think of actors, I think of Meryl Streep. If anybody sat in any room and said, "Mention two wonderful, great, phenomenal actresses," your name will not come up in any room. I guarantee you that. Your name will not come up in any room whatsoever. And so this was what Justin was responding to. Let us start.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry.
He's referring to Blake talking about on previous films that she was not giving enough credit, that she was not giving enough acknowledgement. And so her dragons, which were Ryan and Taylor, had seen this repeatedly. That is what he's apologizing about. This was a little bit after the message I posted. But as far as I am concerned, that's a horse and pony show. Why? Because I promise you, Blake, Ryan, and Tyler would never have done this to a Steven Spielberg film. You wouldn't dare. He would have chucked you. Well, you know what? You wouldn't have even made it into his film. You wouldn't have made it. But you wouldn't have dared all of this gibberish to him. For whatever crazy reason, and I've left Hollywood 15 years ago. Justin, I don't get it. You must be the sweetest guy on earth. I really wish that you had gone to talk to other Hollywood directors. Directors Guild, you are a director, and asked if this was normal. because I heard through the grapevine that it was Colin Hoover who had insisted on Blake playing Lily Bloom, and that is why she got the part. Perhaps that is why he did not fire her, because I would have fired her regardless of whether Colin Hoover liked her or not. I would have still fired her. After this message, I would have fired her. But anyway, we continue.
I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize. And
I don't mind somebody apologizing. I just cannot stand somebody groveling. Justin wasn't apologizing. Justin was begging her to please do this film so that he could finish it. And that was the beginning of the end for him. It really ended right here. Yeah. You know why? We have our instincts. Even when a guy is, chasing us, interested in us, if he grovels like this, there are women that will abuse the position and say, you know what? I want a Chanel bag. I want to travel. I want to go on holiday to Belize. I want to this. There are some girls that are like that. Blake is one of them, because he showed his hand. He showed that he had nothing to bargain with. Justin was outnumbered because he had Blake, he had Ryan, he had Tyler. I am telling you from the experience I had in Hollywood, Ryan Reynolds could never walk on to take over anybody that was cast in a Steven Spielberg film and walk in there talking about, I want to see the rushes, I want to see the daily, I want to see the footage, my wife is in this film. They would have thrown the two of them out. They would have thrown the two of them right out.
Then find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that. Aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that, because it's really good and it's going to make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence, and for us to share creative juices together. Although that sounds terrible. I think you and I have been trying to build a relationship.
Justin, you're wrong for this. You're groveling, you're begging, and you are the one that is in charge. You have to hear this going forward, because this is what got you into trouble in the first place. You have no business trying to be her friend, spending time with her. Please, who is Blake Lively in the grand scheme of things? You are the one that got the book. You did all of the hard work. You researched and discovered Colin Hoover's book. You did the hard work. They came at the other end of it, and now they wanted to take ownership of it. You have to stay professional. There are parameters and there are boundaries. You're a married man. Your wife is even more beautiful than Blake Lively. I said it right here and now. Your wife is more beautiful than Blake Lively. Blake Lively is trying to find means and ways of snatching this book because she believes that will propel her into the Meryl Streep status. You don't have anything to do with her. Do the film and that's it. If she doesn't feel good about something, wait 1 minute. Let us have a meeting from here on in. Always make sure that with people like her and her husband and her bestie, you have your own team too. Even if it means that you have to grab a couple of extras, they have to be your witnesses in stuff like this, because it's he said, she said. But because I'm from that crew, I can peep it, and that was all this was. You should have gone back to Colin Hoover before it got out of control and said, this is not going to work. This is not going to work with this actress. Let us have somebody else. But they railroaded you, and now you are just squeezed and they've cut your height into half, and here you are begging and groveling. It's so annoying.
Which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are talking like this, me into my phone at 2 in the morning, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face, and I feel like that's where I excel, and definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening, and all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together, and I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there. Has been there from the start, so I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met, and...
Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm talking about? Very unnecessary. Constant rambling, and you keep on pouring into her while she is putting a knife in your back and she's putting a hole in your bucket.
Yeah, I think it does come from the both of us being so fucking hardworking and having a vision and not settling.
She wasn't settling, and she had a vision to take the movie from you.
And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that with you. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. And there's one thing that I do need to say, which is I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just me off. Those heads that...
This is people pleasing 101. That's what this is. People pleasing 101. And he's apologizing for the other directors and producers, thinking that she will be in her good graces. But as you very well know now, Justin, that you see why they chucked her out and said, do your lines, mama, and get out of here. We don't need anything else. This was the reason. You have to do your research.
I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be, hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with like Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want. And so there's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which is already like I'm all over that draft right now. So there's a whole bunch of new stars that are going to be collated pages. And I just haven't had a chance to send it to you. But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you. And I'm sorry that has happened to you before.
You see, let me explain something. Nobody sends anything to actors. Nobody sends. All of the filming, all of the rushes of the day, it's not sent to anybody. It is 110% unheard of. It does not happen whatsoever. Now the tables have been turned. Now it's a matter, and I don't think Justin understood this, because you really transferred the power to her. The second you do that, what do you think she's going to do next? Just say, oh, I've seen it, that's okay? No, she was going to make changes. You put yourself in this situation. That's the issue here. And then on top of that, like I said, she's not good at this. And I'm going to get to the wardrobe in a minute, but let me finish this, because this audio showed parts of you I did not like, but it also saved your neck.
And I hope after this experience there will be a new, I hope it'll be healing in some way, because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial, just like you, and affect people and touch people, and I want to walk you through my whole plan, and in the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found no more. And
that was the catch for me. Well, first catch. In the entire promo, and I mentioned it in the other episodes, Blake Lively never talked about domestic violence apart from the flippant response of which an interview asked her what she would do if a DV survivor had come to her. Other than that, she did not in any way, shape or form push, initiate, talk about, feel, have empathy for DVF survivors. Absolutely nothing. I am now finding out for the first time through this audio, because it's 6 minutes and it was so long, but I said, for me, finish, do your research properly. He was the one not only focused on the DV in this book of which he wanted to push, he was the first person to mention it.
Vision, and I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's gonna be special, and you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm gonna stop rambling because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So me, I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 in the morning. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done cutting myself off. Good night.
You know why I'm smiling? Okay, I'll say a couple of things. Justin, the audio was not necessary, but I like the fact that he said, my regards to Ryan. This audio is something that she could have put onto the table for Ryan to hear. Justin showed so much respect to Blake, as well as Taylor, as well as Ryan. As far as he was concerned, anybody can hear with any common sense would know that he was just trying to save his film. He was prepared to go over and above to do everything to please her, thinking that that would be the end of it, assuming that, you know what, if I give her what she wants, then she will play fair with me and she will do this film with me. It just occurred to me as I'm sitting here that Blake really calculated all of this. They waited until they were too far in to start making all of these demands, knowing that Justin, being a nice guy one, being naive two, and knowing that they could outnumber him in bullying, that they would be able to pressure him into doing what they wanted. They knew that. And I'm going to say this, I'm under the impression, allegedly, that Colleen Hoover was also in this. But you know one interesting thing that really struck me? He said, let me get off now because I'm sure you're surrounded by children and you have a baby on your boob. I now understand that last statement because it confirms that Blake was telling lies and Justin was telling the truth. And I'll tell you why. This psychosis, let me just break it down for you. Remember, she had said that he had come into her trailer while she was breastfeeding and she was offended by that. I am under the impression that when he did come in, let's say that he did invade her space and she turned around, she wasn't happy about that at all. He peeped that and left and she was offended by that. That was why she could bring it up. Okay? All right. Then we saw the text where she said, I am breastfeeding, come to the trailer so we can do our lines. He said, I'm eating with the crew. Once I'm done, I will come and join you. Of which he did. And they were very comfortable together to read their lines while breastfeeding. So he's now got the picture in his mind that, you know what, she must be very busy as she multitasks because she was breastfeeding her child and doing the lines with him. So he's saying that, oh, you know what, it's late, it's 2 in the morning, she might be sleeping, you might have children around you, and breastfeeding, because that was what she showed him. That was how she portrayed herself to him. And that was why he brought it up again. If it was something that it was sexual and he did deliberately, he would not have said it and then said, give Ryan my love. Are you with me? Are you with me? Do you understand what I'm saying? That he said it innocently because Blake presented herself breastfeeding and doing lines innocently. It's a mother and a child. And that was why he brought it up. Having said that, Justin, you should not be having this kind of close conversations or audios with people that you're hiring. This is the problem. You have to have boundaries. Now, I had mentioned how wonderful the movie was, and it was absolutely fabulous. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Might I add, to be fair, because I like to be fair, I really like Blake in this film, but I didn't care for the wardrobe. I think it was the first scene. Was it the first scene? I don't remember. I think it was. And she walked out with a Valentino bag. I know that because I've got the dress pattern of that bag. And I thought it was very odd. Why is she with a Valentino bag? It didn't make sense. And then I saw bits and pieces of outfits throughout the film. Her friend came in with a Birkin bag, and I know that they're supposed to be wealthy, but it was just not, you see, and I understand now why this movie was giving me Sex and the City, because the wardrobe was misplaced. Guess what, guys? I now find out that Blake refused to work with the wardrobe coordinator for this film, and she brought personal pieces into the film. There was another scene, a party, where she was wearing very lovely sparkly boots, and I've seen different versions of them from high street to high fashion. I don't know which one was. Again, I thought it was very, very not aligned with somebody who had a flower shop. And then her lingerie, and I said she would never, ever, ever buy this, ever. Ever. She would never buy this. I know this because I've worked in Hollywood. I've been on the set. And I told you, I said, you have to release everything, because I am not walking onto the set as Fumi. I am walking onto the set as the character I am playing. And Blake did not do that. And it was evident. So she messed it up. And somebody was telling me that, Fumi, I think you were watching Finally, Blake said it. Well, that's why. Because it was messed up. The wardrobe was a hot mess. It is what it is. So that's it, my darlings. Do not forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, my darlings. All of my love. Mwah.